I grew up in Chicago, in the city of Chicago. My dad is a Chicago firefighter, so or was retired. So there's requirements with that you have to live within the city limits. So we did. I grew up on the south side of the city in like a leafy Chicago neighborhood. Lots of working class people, a lot of police officers as well. Kind of a public school kid. Super diverse public school. That I went to a Catholic, all-girls Catholic high school, which was interesting. And it's kind of like a sort of Catholic, Irish, Polish ancestry around here, where I grew up. And so my background is basically a city kid, public school, city kid, working class. My trajectory kind of changed relative to a lot of people I grew up with when I got a scholarship to college. That kind of set me in, sort of a different path. But yeah, that's my background.
Yeah, Chicago's great. I lived there. It was my second city, like a lot of people. So I lived there for a couple years after school, because I went to school in Illinois. So it was very interesting 3 years. I was in there for the snowpocalypse 2012. For
nice.
The polar vortex and stuff. So
yeah, we were there at the same time then. That's funny.
Yeah, it was intense. I remember like the snow drifts, how they had to bring in the earth movers and stuff, because the plows like literally couldn't get through. And it's like,
yeah,
whoa.
Everybody has those memories of those like of snow events. There was one time where I was staying in a part of Chicago with Patrick in his home, and it was like you open the door and like up to waist level was snow,
Yeah.
And it's just like got the imprint of the door on it.
That's wild.
Yeah,
I remember seeing like snowdrifts so high, but then when it shut down the city of Chicago, and knowing that Chicago gets so much snow constantly every year,
right.
I was very surprised. And then when I saw that Lakeshore Drive, the buses for the CTA,
people just abandoned their cars.
Buses, and it was like, wait a second, I saw this in like day after tomorrow. Am I living like through this like apocalyptic thing? And it's like, man, this is foreshadowing of sorts, So that was an interesting thing. But I mean, I'm actually going to go to Chicago. You've been around there for the summer. Summertime Shy is real. That's one of my favorite things. The bars and everything. You were on the south side. I was more on the north side. So tell me about that a little bit. Maybe we can start the distinction off of that. Like cultural differences from the north side, south side is
huge,
very there and apparent.
Yeah, huge. So it's like Sox versus Cubs, I guess. The Cubs fans are like, they wear button-up shirts and to the games, and it's just about like, I don't know. In some ways, the Sox fans are resentful of the Cubs fans, but it's like the north-south divide in so many places. But yeah, it's the north siders are more cultured, more affluent in general.
Yeah.
South siders more working class, a little rowdier. I mean, I guess they both kind of get rowdy in their own ways.
Sure.
But yeah, the south side, at least where I grew up, it's like this sort of working class cosmopolitanism, and if I could call it that. We grew up with lots of different kinds of people, found ways to get along. There's lots of different races and ethnicities that are sort of cohabiting happily in these different neighborhoods. There's definitely a history of segregation and such around the whole city, but I would say in general, part of what I wrote about in my book, because my book research was based on interviews in Chicago, was that the South Side is just sort of treated as this like, gang-ridden, segregated, and like those issues exist, but it's not just one monolithic thing. The South Side is many things, just like every place is many things. So
very true.
Yeah.
Well said. And so what exactly, with that cosmopolitanism and when that working class, like how did that kind of influence what you wanted to be when you grew up? Like it was that kind of you said you got a scholarship, which was kind of different from a lot of people around you, to kind
Yeah.
of get out. And I can kind of attest to that. A lot of people from Chicago, one of the reasons why, I kind of fell out with even a lot of my West Side friends and out in the suburbs is like, they just want to live in Chicago and they just want to come back to there, which was great and all, but it just runs deep. And so I guess you could say like, how did that kind of influence what you wanted to be when you grew up, and then how you actually went about it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like I kind of fell for the narrative that a lot of people do, which is just like, I've got to get out of this place. Like, I'm so
Yeah.
different from this place and these people. And then kind of went on a whole long trajectory of, going to different places. I went to the University of Chicago, it's on the South Side, but it's like a world apart from the place where I grew up.
Sure.
And then I've traveled a ton, and I was just like, what is out there in the world? I just insatiable curiosity, like, where do I land? Where do I fit? Through all of grad school, where then I came back to Chicago to do my dissertation research, which included interviewing people in Chicago and in the suburbs and in the rural area south of the city.
Oh, okay.
And kind of like developed a newfound love of place here.
Sure.
I think that in general, we're sort of told this idea like people are, wherever you're from are, I think of like Boiled Owl, Neil Clark, this yokels. Everyone is yokels around me. I need to get away from these people. But then, I'm starting to, just over the past, I guess, half a decade or so, coming to appreciate like the beauty of locality, not just my own locality, but the localities that I have been a part of or adjacent to, or, even a visitor in. I think there's something really beautiful about that. Locality and belonging and that kind of thing. So now I'm almost kind of like a person who has been in both worlds and can translate between. For people, there's like a lot of people who've been in academia and just, are still in the mindset of like, get away from these backwards people kind of thing. And then there's a lot of people who have no experience of academics and are like, they're elite, annoying,
Right.
trying to tell us how to live people. And so it's nice that for me, it's really nice that I have had experiences of both, and I can sort of help to translate between the two groups of the culture war.